I've been working with the HistoryMakers archives for 12 years. I actually think that this archive is one of the most important cultural institutions in America and on the globe in terms of documenting the lives of people of color, but also documenting lives of resilience and resistance and allowing us to have a way of looking at what does it mean to be in some ways extraordinary. All the history makers are in some way extraordinary, and that the best uses of the archive do not point towards exceptionality, but to the power of the community, the power of the collective. They point to all the lives that don't make it into the history makers, as well as the lives that do. I teach a course called Soul Food Intex Aztecs. And I had two things that came out of that I loved. One was a student who was chasing down sweet potatoes in the archive. They found and documented something that is very little written about. The first time that Martin Luther King was almost murdered, his sister baked him sweet potato pie to console him. That tells us a lot about a sister that never gets much credit. Mahalia Jackson gets more credit in the life of Martin Luther King. That sweet potato pie, which might seem random, but in fact is giving us a point of further discovery. We need to do more work on Martin Luther King's siblings. We need to do more work on his sister in particular. To me, when they create this opportunity to talk about, frankly, things that we don't want to talk about right now in certain parts of the world, structural racism, structural barriers to thriving. But the archives, ironically, show all of the structural barriers that people have evaded. And they become actually templates for evasions in the future. And not only for Black people, but for all people who must evade structural barriers to their excellence.